Hello, so we have Easy Animator Pro version 2.2 here, and you see we got the number right this time. And you probably noticed down here that we got a lot changed. So we put all these options here in one place along with the transform features, which really, allows us to control what's on the stage much better, not having to dive into the different properties and everything, which wasn't going to be visible if you were doing searches or if you were in the presets or animation. So I wanted to get these out here so that we can control this much more precisely and quickly. So one of the things that I like about the transform is just a little example here is I've got these apples. I just cloned this, so that's a reasonably new feature here. I just took one apple, cloned it a couple times, and if I want to do an array here, so maybe we do something a little bit more like this here. So maybe they're going to be bullets, and I'm going to have some text right here. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to be doing the x-axis. So I might get it over here more, so I have more room for text, and then I can take this and I can Control C or Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC, and I come over here and I can Command V on a Mac, or of course Control C or Control V on a PC. And I can do that. And of course I'd have to array these. We don't have an an alignment feature yet. That is something that I hope to try to do, but at least you can kind of eyeball it into position, and now they're all on the same x-axis. And so it's that kind of thing, and rotations and stuff like that. That's why I had this in here, so that you can do precise transformations. So flip, all these flip, horizontal and vertical, center on stage, cloning and removing are all easy to access here. And I set apart break apart because it's kind of a signature feature of ours that I just wanted to make sure that you had a real big and bold way to get to that. You'll notice here that we have the new kind of export is now defaulting to MP4, one of the most popular formats. You got the export button big and bold, and that old speed option, which is almost never used, to be honest. Even we've stopped using it. But I have it in one of my courses, therefore I keep it, but it's only available for SWF, and it was confusing people, so I just made that nice big and bold here for the export option. You'll notice over here that we have now, when you're in advanced mode, it says easy mode here, so that letting you know that that's where you're going to go if you click on that. So we fixed the presets. I'm sorry, not the presets, the animation effects. This is showing animation effects that are part of Anibit's Mega Bundle. This is one of the bonuses, and I'll be going through and redoing these, because if you notice here, I've got reverse versions of these, and I found that actually is kind of neat because you can make some interesting effects. I'll remove these. If those of you who saw the preview will be seeing the same thing here, but I just found that if I invert these, basically have one going on, basically reverse the frames is what I did, then I get an interesting effect. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be providing those to you for the other ones in all these reverse options. So these are going to be installed one at a time. I'm sorry, but you only have to do it once. So what it'll end up having is somewhere between 30 and 40 explosions, and the straight shapes and strikes and strokes. So we won't need to have these anymore. That we fixed the limitation that we had where there was only 15 in a group. And you'll notice here that you don't have to scroll as much. Now you just kind of click on whichever one you want. And so that's a small improvement as well. So look for these here as soon as I can get through them all in the member area. So in order to install these, and so I'll get those as soon as I can. The ones that I have now can now be grouped if you want. The simple thing that you do really, if you want to make any SWF animation effects, by the way, is simply take an SWF file group and just zip them up together, and then you can install them here. So anything that you wanted to, if you have a bunch of SWF animations like this, SWF animations, I mean, then you can do that as well. So you don't have to just use the ones that I provide. So let's see, there's a new text feature here. So this is probably one of my favorite features that's been added. We brought back built-in because a lot of people requested that, but we also have a favorites feature now. So I just installed this. So see, chunk 5 is one of my favorites. So I don't know what I did there, kind of messed it up. Let's go let's go to built-in because it's a little bit easier to find there. So I can add that as a favorite. And the system font, one of my favorite fonts, is actually this 10-cent comment, which is a font that I bought. And you can see here that it'll show up in the favorites. So for those of you who, are doing non-English languages, Russian, Arabic, Hebrew, or whatever it may be, you can make those fonts your favorites and be able to find them much faster instead of having to sort through a big old list of system fonts like I have here. So that pretty much does it. Well, the reset button, I just remembered it. What it does now is, let me go ahead and get this deselected and remove those. So what reset does is if I have an animation, let's get something on the stage there, and if I have some sort of animation applied to it, yeah, I just did something simple, and what'll happen is if I click on that and choose reset, it's not only going to reset the sizing and whatnot, it's also going to basically take it back to where it has no animation. So a reset now fully resets, and so that's a nice thing as well. That's pretty much it, besides some other small bug fixes and so forth. So now with Easy Animator Pro, I think we've kind of made this a little bit more efficient, a little bit easier to use, improve the UI just a little bit. I hope you get more efficient and get a lot of value out of Easy Animator Pro version 2.2.